What's good, YouTube? It is finally good reacts back with another video. How y'all day been? My day been good. Got a lot going on. Be honest with y'all. Got some news. Everybody been saying, Vaughn, you need to get a job. Vaughn, you need to do this. Vaughn, you need to do this. Upload this. Put this out. Y'all, I've been busy IRL like a mug. Starting tomorrow. Now, this is probably when y'all won't see me on YouTube, honestly, because right now, I'm going to just keep it real. It's like a life update, basically, or some shit, you know, call. Right now, keep it real with y'all. I'm sorry I've been gone for a little while. Been handling things IRL. With that being said, y'all, right? I start doing this thing this week. This week, my first check. My first thing is the 20th. But my starting date is tomorrow. Yeah, I start. So y'all, if y'all didn't know, I'm trying to, I don't know if y'all know this, but like, I get it. I can't be making YouTube videos forever. I can't keep doing this forever. I gotta try different things. I gotta be new. I gotta be creative and everything. Honestly, for this channel, because I start working, and honestly, I'm proud to say this because starting tomorrow, 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. is my job schedule. Honestly, it's an overnight shift. But, chat, I'm back. I'm getting to my money. I'm getting to the grind. I'm getting back to the YouTube stuff. Y'all might see the YouTube schedule change up just because I'm going to try to fit in my work days and stuff. Or something like that. But I appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Let's get into this James Bond video. By the way, the 007 game is awesome. So, yeah, we're going to just spread that right now. The 007 game is awesome. I appreciate y'all. That was the announcement. Yes, your boy. 10 to 7 a.m. 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. Starting tomorrow. So, yeah, I've been doing a lot of shit IRL. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I ain't going to lie to my subscribers. I think that's why that's why I really technically been active. Because I've been working on a lot of stuff. Make sure you stay tuned. Peace. Let's get into the video.
The international super spy James Bond is certainly no stranger to video games.
Right.
However, it would be fair to say that many Bond games have often focused on more familiar shoot-'em-up action spectacle while ignoring the rest of what makes 007 so much fun.
This 007 game reminds me of Hitman. If you ever played Hitman, it was like, I didn't play it, but I know what it is. But yeah, it's like that. It's kind of like stuff.
So much potential for a Bond video game to really lean into those stealthy and socially charismatic encounters that the films capture so well. And that's what makes Hitman developer IO Interactive's long-awaited turn towards the James Bond franchise so appealing.
That's it, hey. Silent but violent.
Bringing the Hitman series' social stealth and open-ended design for its take on James Bond, 007 First Light has the makings of an incredibly ambitious attempt at a fully realized spy story starring the iconic character. After spending some time with the opening hours of this new James Bond origin story, I came away feeling more confident that the Hitman devs were the right team to take on this reboot, and they may just deliver on the most original take for Bond's breakout adventure.
It's really quite simple. Bond is a bullet without a target. Let's give him one.
My hands-on time focused primarily on 3 missions. The opening mission set in Iceland, the MI6 training set in Malta, Italy, and the spectacle-driven infiltration and escape set at a ritzy gala in London's Kensington Borough. As a modern origin story, 007 First Light focuses on Bond's early days as an MI6 recruit and on the decisive missions that grant him his status as a true 00 secret agent.
Listen carefully. You have less than 1% chance of success. Now stand down.
I'll take those odds.
Bond.
Kicking off with an explosive mission in Iceland, Bond encounters a ruthless organization stealing secret technology at a remote facility, setting off a global chase to find those responsible. After being recruited into the agency, Bond partners up with reimagined takes on Q, Moneypenny, and other original characters who guide him and help him earn his place within MI6. There's been a variety of tones across the Bond franchise, ranging from gritty spy thrillers to more over-the-top comical spectacles. From my hands-on time with First Light's opening missions, it certainly lands more so in the slick and punchy style of both the Pierce Brosnan and Daniel Craig eras of Bond. But as a game, First Light is a balance between IOI's Hitman series and its focus on choice and consequence gameplay, within a structured, spectacle-driven narrative similar to Naughty Dog's Uncharted series.
Who do you work for?
It's a very character-focused take on a stealth-driven action-adventure game, which packs in a lot of personality and charm, showing how Bond came into his own as a spy, even when his attempts don't go so smoothly. This aspect also comes through in Bond's approach to engagements, which really sells his status as a well-trained yet still impulsive 20-something spy who can make the most of every opportunity. The training stage in Malta, Italy served as a good primer to the flow of First Light's take on stealth action. I gave this stage 2 attempts to see how much it would change with my choices, which was a good way to comprehend how the balance between stealth and combat works. Generally, the goal is to avoid suspicion from foes, and if you fail, you'll need to contain the situation.
Nice.
If things escalate and suspicion reaches a boiling point, guards may become hostile and even call in reinforcements.
Man down here, send people!
However, each scuffle with enemies is an isolated encounter, helping keep engagements from spiraling out of control
Hey,
for
the
the
combat
mission.
on this game goes
Firearms are
hard as
often a last
hell.
resort,
Chat, I'm
and that's
streaming
where
this
melee
on
combat
Twitch.
fits in as the preferred
remind
choice for taking out enemies. It
It's gonna
does
be on
well
Twitch.
to showcase
I
how
promise you that.
brutal
Right
and
there.
quick
It's
Bond
streaming.
can be in
It's
taking
on
down
Twitch.
foes. However, I did feel it was a bit cumbersome to find the flow of fistfights, especially with multiple enemies coming in. First Light is a spy game through and through, and I certainly had options at my disposal. In addition to ruthless aggression with Bond's fists and firearms, he's also got a handy Q-Watch and Q-Vision gadgets. In a similar vein
that's
to
cool.
Watch Dogs, you can perform quick hacks
I'm
and
not gonna lie, I ain't
dismantle
never played
objects
Watch
in the
Dogs.
environment
Is it a
to
good
create
game?
setups or distractions. This opened up some amusing moments where I could use a broken
This shit
fax
hard as
machine
hell.
or radio to draw a target in, then either knock them out or lock them in a room to keep them out of sight.
Oh, that's cool. You can lock people in the room.
However, it should be stated that First Light takes a more punchy, momentum-driven approach to its stealth action, as opposed to the clockwork world design and slower pace of the Hitman series.
I think I'll finish
This
this
means
one
you
today,
likely
too.
won't stay in
No, I
locations
didn't see
too
this
long
one.
to examine character routines or come up with Rube Goldberg solutions, as with Agent 47. I was also let down to see that you couldn't perform some familiar stealth
I'm
actions,
back.
like picking up bodies and hiding them from view. But the more I played, the more I got used to First Light's particular take
Right.
on stealth action, which is really about making a beeline to your target and getting in and out as quickly as possible. The core missions I played had a fairly guided approach, yet they still offered plenty of opportunities to find my own way to clear the objectives. The mission set in the Gala event was particularly fun and intriguing, featuring a more open-ended design that showcased
By the way, the
First
game
Light's
ain't out.
tone and
This is,
gameplay structure to full effect. To infiltrate the
Yeah, the
upper
game ain't
floors
out.
to
The
secure
game ain't
valuable
out.
intel about a key target, this is where the Hitman influence kicks in, and you're given a different set of ways to infiltrate the facility in ways that tap into social engineering or even some sneaky brute forcing.
Hang on.
In my attempt to eavesdrop, I overheard a phone conversation with a PR agent complaining about a journalist late for their appointment.
She might be able to help me here.
Assuming their identity, I then talked my way into the meeting, but I first had to get a press pass and a camera to look the part. What initially seemed like clear-cut objectives quickly went sideways when the real journalist showed up and had already checked in,
I think there must be a mistake. Mike's already checked in.
leaving me to improvise another way up. I was able to pull that off by listening to a guard complaining about the current state of security in the building.
Right.
This opened the door to using one of Bond's most impressive and valuable skills, his quick wit and charm.
Oi, have you seen a woman? One of the suspects. I saw her crawl out a window and followed her this way.
With the bluff skill, which requires action points to pull off, you can actually trick enemies and even disengage hostiles from your suspicious behavior. The power of this skill is improved when you read up on intel or gain knowledge from the environment, which lets you leverage the information to make an in with the NPCs in the level. It essentially turns those familiar Bond quips and one-liners into a gameplay maneuver, leading to slick, hilarious moments where social engineering is in full effect.
Can I help you? Security. Don't mind me, just doing a quick sweep.
One of the more memorable moments from bluffing was during a tense stealth sequence. After knocking out a guard, another one on patrol caught me shortly after. I quickly activated the bluff skill and convinced him that the unconscious guard had suffered a medical emergency and had fallen on his own. The deception worked, and the guard disengaged from me and went to examine the knocked out guard, which gave me time to dispose of him as well. Eventually, I was able to sneak my way up into the upper levels, which led to an exciting boss encounter against one of First Light's recurring henchmen. Without a firearm, I had to use stealth attacks and my gadgets to sneak around and set up traps to get the best of it. But in keeping with the need to adapt, the boss learns from his mistakes and will avoid or outright deactivate any similar traps in adjoining rooms. Not long after, I encountered a more combat-driven encounter against tactical officers, and that's when First Light's full-on combat phase, known as License to Kill, engaged. In keeping with Bond's status as a spy, combat is often necessary in certain situations, and you'll have to use whatever methods you can to take out enemies, lethal or non-lethal. Compared to previous Hitman games, First Light features some fantastic action mechanics, and the core shooting feels especially great when in the moment. I had some particularly cool moments where I tossed an empty submachine gun at an enemy's head before pummeling him to the ground, and when I shot a weapon out of an enemy's hand and grabbed it out of the air to fight him off with it. Closing out the mission in style, I made my exit from the gala and into another firefight before boarding a garbage truck and barreling down the streets of London in reckless fashion, which totally gave me the same vibes from GoldenEye's iconic tank chase scene. The missions I got to play were set in the main story campaign, which also offers some freedom between missions to explore. However, much like the story and characters, the goals and objectives are closely tied to the larger narrative, which, according to the developers, is why they wanted a more focused take on Bond's stealth action. However, one aspect of First Light that aims to give players more freedom is the TACSIM mode. While I wasn't able to play it during the preview, this side activity lets you engage with standalone missions and scenarios based on full missions from the game, with some twists. In a similar vein to the Hitman series, these simulations are open-ended and allow players to use whatever methods, and outfits, they want to accomplish objectives. I think this mode can potentially be a great outfit for players looking to cut loose and to try to push First Light's open-ended approach to missions, and I'm very excited to see what sort of hijinks that skilled players can get into. It's been many years since the last proper 007 game, and the larger Bond franchise seems to be in a state of reassessment. And that certainly puts IO Interactive's latest in a great position to deliver an exciting new Bond game cleverly. With 007 First Light's character-first approach to delivering a fully realized Bond adventure, it's so far got the charm, wit, and raw energy to make this spy thriller one to keep an eye on as its May release fast approaches. For more on the latest upcoming games, check out our recent previews of The Blood of Dawnwalker and Hell Let Loose Vietnam. And of course, for everything else in the world of video games, stick with IGN.
007, 4 letters, one word, 007. Yeah.